Okay, so today we are going to discuss a very interesting chapter, and that's forest, our lifeline, right? So we are going to discuss this, and so to start off with, first I want to ask all of you one by one. Priscilla, tell me, what is the definition of a forest? What do you understand when we say a forest? What do you understand?
Ma'am, many trees.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, it's like quality of creatures and animals
Correct.
and different types of organisms.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you, Priscilla. Syed, how would you define a forest?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, explain how will you define a forest? What do you understand when you say a forest?
Ma'am, many trees, homes
Correct.
for homes for animals.
Correct. Very good. What else?
Ma'am, fresh air.
Excellent. Okay.
Ma'am, no factories.
Okay. So basically what Priscilla and Syed have said is lots of animals, right? When we say forest, the mental picture that we have in our mind is lots of animals, lots of plants and trees, right? Fresh air, very well said, Said, fresh air. And what else? Unmana, would you want to add up?
Like, ma'am, in my words, like forest, like it's a large area, large area where there are lots of trees and plants, and there we found animals which are normally not found like in our houses, or in cities or anything, where people live in that place. We not see such animals there. They live like wild animals. They
Correct.
live in the forest.
So basically wild animals living in a large area is how you would explain. Correct? Okay, any other point that any of you want to add up? Arna, what is your definition of a forest?
Ma'am, I already told.
Yeah, so any other point that you need to add up to?
No, ma'am, I already told.
Okay, all right. Fine. Great. So basically, when I say forest, this is all that comes to our mind. It will have a lot of plants, lot of animals. Of course, what many of you could have added is, there has to be a water body, maybe a river or a pond or a lake, some form of a water body has to be there, isn't it? When we think of a forest, because, the animals need to have a source of water there. Correct? So it has to have a water body close by. And most of the trees, plants would be of a wild variety. Wild, exotic, rare, however you want to put it, it will be of those kinds. So basically, when we say forests, they are the most useful and renewable sources of many things. Renewable sources of energy, renewable sources of habitats, right? And there's a wide variety of plants and animals available. So basically, forest is an extremely useful habitat for living beings. Right? So this is a habitat. Forest is a habitat. Correct? Okay. But even before I get into the details, what do you understand by habitat? Priscilla, what is a habitat?
Ma'am, I'm not really sure, but I think habitat is the way an organism lives.
Correct. Okay. All right. Arna, what is a habitat?
Habitat is the surrounding and the environment where a person lives.
Person lives? Only a person?
Not a person, like an organism.
An organism lives. Okay, great. Syed, do you want to add?
Ma'am, I do not know.
Okay, so basically, if I have to say there is a fish, This is a fish, correct? So a fish will have a habitat, right? So what is the habitat of a fish? The habitat of a fish, in this case, I'm just taking, is a pond, right? The habitat is a pond. The animal that we are discussing is fish, right? Now, so what all are there in the surrounding of a fish? There will be very small fishes, correct? There will be very tiny fishes. There will be medium-sized fishes, and there could be very huge fishes. So basically fishes of different shapes and sizes are there in the surrounding or in the habitat of a fish. Along with that, there could be a turtle, right? I'm not good at drawing, I'm just drawing. There could be a turtle there. There could be, sea grasses or some sea plants, aquatic plants. There could be, algae, which is floating at the top of the water. If this is the top of the water or pond, in the pond, there could be some green color algae floating, and there could be some frogs, right? So here you have certain frogs here, right? So when they say, in a habitat, if the pond is a habitat, there are two components to a habitat. One is a biotic component and the other is a abiotic component. Okay. Now there are also, there is, the layer of soil at the bottom. There are some small pebbles. There are certain big rocks here, right? So when we say what are the biotic components, the biotic components will be all the creatures that are living apart from this fish. Apart from this fish, anything else that is living here will fall into the biotic category. And anything that is non-living, as in the rock, the pebbles, the sand here, will fall into the abiotic category. Am I clear? Unmana, can you tell me in this habitat, what comes under the biotic components? Unmana? Okay, Priscilla,
Ma'am, can you repeat the question? I was disconnected.
I'm asking that, in this pond, the pond is a habitat here. So in this habitat, what all are the biotic components? Components that are alive.
Ma'am, the fishes and the plants and the animals, like all the living organisms here are the biotic components.
So that will consist of the frog. That will
Yes.
consist of the small insects that's there. That
Yes,
will
ma'am.
also count in the algae,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
the grass that's there. These are all biotic. Then Syed, you'll have to tell me what are the abiotic components in this habitat.
Ma'am, abiotic means
Abiotic means whatever is non-living in this habitat. What all
ma'am,
are not? Yeah, tell me in this habitat what all are non-living.
human, human,
Yes, tell me. Nasir, Syed, will you be able to answer? What are the non-living structures or the non-living components in this habitat? Okay, all right. Okay, Priscilla, would you like to take it up?
Ma'am, the abiotic components are the rocks and pebbles and sand.
Very good. The rock, pebble, and the sand. Excellent. So basically, what I meant is a habitat. A habitat can be broken up into two components. One is the biotic component, as in everything that is living in that habitat, and abiotic component, that means everything that is non-living in that component, in that habitat. Simple. Correct? So this is known as a habitat. For example, now if we have to take forest as a habitat, right? Can you tell me what are the biotic components? Starting with Arna, tell me what are the biotic components?
The biotic components are all the living organisms.
So you cannot, of course, that encompasses, when I say biotic, that means all the living. So you'll have to name it one by one.
Animals,
No. So which animal?
tiger, lions,
Okay, you can just tell me, give me examples of two animals, two plants, or whatever, just two to each.
hippopotamus,
All right.
and then there would be birds like sparrows,
Birds like sparrows, okay.
eagles,
Eagle, okay.
and then even vultures.
All right. Name a few out of the plant kingdom.
There may be like many trees.
Yeah, so what all kind of trees would you find in a forest?
Maybe coconut trees, not
Really coconut trees, okay. Some wild variety of trees.
mangrove.
Mangrove in a forest, okay. Mangrove, all right, okay.
Ma'am, I can't think of
Can
any trees.
Yes, Priscilla.
Ma'am, eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus, okay.
Ma'am, bamboo.
Bamboo, correct, very good. You
Ma'am,
could also find banyan, if not, yeah.
ma'am, even banana trees.
Some wild varieties of berries.
Ma'am, can there be sugar canes?
Sugarcane, if it might have happened by accident, but normally, sugarcane is found in agricultural land. Right? In forest, you would normally find all kind of wild varieties of plants and animals. Normally, which you don't find in a city or a village, So, and not much of agricultural help. All right. So, apart from that, you will also find some wild variety of insects and bugs. Right? You would find
And worms.
worms, mushrooms, right? Creepy crawly insects, snakes, scorpions. You might find iguana, different kind of lizards, chameleon, right? So these are the biotic components of a forest. Vatsala, good evening, Vatsala. Vatsala, you entered the class late, so I just wanted to give you a recap. We are discussing about forest today, okay? It's one of the most useful and renewable part of our, planet. And, we are discussing the two different components, biotic and abiotic. Biotic is anything which is living in that habitat.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And
abiotic is non-living.
Very good. Abiotic is non-living. Good that you're in the same page. Very good. So, Vatsala, can you name a few abiotic components that's found in the forest?
Yeah, sun.
Sun, okay.
Soil.
Soil.
Rocks.
Rock, yes.
Water.
Water, very good. Pebbles.
Air.
Yeah, what else?
Air.
Air, okay. So these are all the abiotic components, right?